It's springtime in southern British Columbia, and for stillwater anglers, it's one of the most exciting times of year. The lakes are alive, temperatures are warming rapidly, bug life is hatching in the water, and the fishing is spectacular. Today I'm fishing with Phil Rowley, professional stillwater fly fisher and legendary fly tyer.
The interior lakes of British Columbia spring to life every year around this time. Rainbow trout feed ferociously on the aquatic bug life they've been deprived of all winter. Now is the time to fatten up, and it's one of the most productive times of year to be fishing here. Today I'll be demonstrating how to fish a blob under an indicator as a way to entice fish early in the day. Then, as the day warms and bug hatches begin, I'll switch to a chironomid and see if I can get the right color and size to entice one of these huggy trout. There we go, fish on. That didn't take long. These blobs is originally, it's an English fly, and the blob originally had no bead. It's used in a multi-fly system. We're in British Columbia here, so we can't use multiple flies. And my indicator popped as it should. So we'll bring this fish in. There's that blob right in the tip of the snout. Into the 𝗪𝗣𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗗. That fish is lying in the water, it's resting, it's recovering. We get the fly out of there so we don't accidentally rehook the fish. Wet our hands, roll them over, temporarily disorientates them. Take the pump, fill it full of water, it's lubricated inside and out. I squeeze it about half down, insert it down the fish's throat until I feel resistance, vacuum forms. Withdraw, process is done. Set that aside. There he goes. Well, we're sitting on Corbett Lake here today. Just finished a week-long school with Brian Chan. Brian and I do schools here every year, spring and fall. Perfect place to do schools. We've got accommodation. Ann Thompson, the manager here, is a first-class chef, just wonderful food. And of course, we've got this lake, crystal clear, full of willing trout, and we can fish a variety of different methods here. We're sitting on the edge of a drop-off. This lake has some classic drop-offs. We're anchored in 6-7 feet here. It's literally 20 feet out there. So these fish love to cruise these edges. I love drop-offs. If I could say anything about fishing a lake, fish drop-offs, whether they're the edge of a shoal or a point, money place to find fish. We tend to fish beadhead blobs under indicators to suggest a cluster of zooplankton, and they're brightly colored to match the zooplankton rather, but they also have an element of attraction too. So it's a great way to get a fish. We could do some careful use of a throat pump, see what they're really focused on, and adjust our presentation from there. So just fishing a 10-foot 6-weight, 5s or 6-weights are standard stuff for still waters. Get that out, pull off some line. About 2 feet of tippet to the fly. Little barrel swivel for some weight. We got a little bit of wind here today. Thin level leader. These are indicator style or nymphing leaders. We've got a quick release indicator because we're going to be fishing down deep. This will release and allow us to land fish without the indicator jamming at the rod tip. We've got some bobber stoppers set up on the leader. This allows us to mark where our indicator is positioned, so when it releases we can easily reset it. And yeah, it's a pretty simple system. The most important part is making sure from your indicator all the way down to your fly, including the tippet section, is level, because when you set for a set depth, it's going to hang vertically. If you use a standard tapered leader, you know, your 9-12 foot leader, those leaders are made for dry fly fishing and fishing in rivers and streams. So about 50% of that leader is butt section. So you have a leader with differing thicknesses along its length, and it doesn't sink at the same rate. So when you're fishing at a set depth, you could set for that depth, but not actually reach it. So what we've got here, we're going to put a little hot orange blob on, tungsten bead. The Daphnia in this lake are a pinky orange coloration. The tungsten bead allows this fly to hang straight down and maintain tight connection, because the one thing with blobs, if you don't fish them with bead heads and just hang them, the materials, the fritz we tie them out of, is quite buoyant. So you lose connection with your fly, and the fish, unfortunately, if you're not quick on the set, can take it deeply down their throat, and you end up having to cut the fly off, and that's not good. So I've just attached this. This is a head turner bead on this here. So on a small hook, this is about a number 10. And if I cinch the clinch knot tight to the hook and cock it back, it will hang more or less horizontal. And the reason we want that is when the fish comes in and grabs this, it's going to tend to hook in the upper part of its mouth, and that's good. That another trick to help you stop if you got fish eating your blobs and taking them deep. This is a great way to stop it, because it just doesn't seem to happen anymore when I do this. So now I got to set the depth. So on the gunnels of my boat here, they're a little faded, but I have made little black marks in all the seating positions that are 1 foot apart. So if I want to go to 12 feet, there's 2, 10, 12. I'll engage the leader at the indicator, push it together. It's getting a little beat. And my bobber stop is tucked in there, so when this pops and I fight the fish, I've got this bobber stop marker here. Take my peg, slide the indicator back up to where that bobber stop is, re-engage it, and I know I'm exactly the depth I was prior to catching that fish, so I can put it back out there and catch fish again. Because the most important thing in lake fishing for me, or at least one of the critical things, is, from a presentation perspective, is depth. You got to find the depth the fish are feeding at, and you put your flies there, there's a good chance they're going to eat it. With indicators, you don't need to make a long cast. My general rule is, the deeper I'm fishing under the indicator, the closer I keep it, because some of the takes, particularly when you're fishing small flies like chironomid pupa, is they can take that fly very softly, and if you're too far away from your indicator because you cast it too far, you can't see that subtle take, or even if you can, there's always a delay in striking and you could miss fish. So keep it close. If you're fishing on a shallow shoal 4 feet down, yeah, you got to spread it out a little bit so the fish don't get spooked. So we're just going to let it sit there. That little wind-induced chop is bouncing that fly up and down, making it look alive. And after a while, if I get bored, I can give it a long strip or a little bit of a hand twist retrieve and twiddle it back and basically just cover the water from where the fly landed and settled back to where I'm going to recast it. So there we go. All the places I've gone in North America, if I'm fishing off a drop-off, because even though it's 20 feet down, that doesn't mean your fish are going to be 20 feet down. There's not always a lot of oxygen down there for them. Oh, the indicator popped again. It's good to see it's working. Oop. He's going, oh, he's probably thinking, oh God, I've eaten another blob. I can't believe I was this stupid. A little more color on this one. It is early spring, so some of these fish will get in their spawning clothing, spawning colors, but unfortunately stillwater fish need rivers and streams, flowing water to spawn, so it's a kind of a stressful time for them as they get all dressed up to reproduce, and for the most part, they can't do it. Into the net. So these are a hatchery strain rainbow that Ann gets in here, very healthy, beautiful, spotted, like freckles, like me as a redhead. There she goes. All right, let's reset, and as I often say, it's like shampoo now, rinse and repeat. The lines we use for indicator fishing are specifically suited for fishing indicators, long leaders. This is a line I helped design with Real Fly Lines. It's a still water floater. The mass of the line is concentrated near the tip. So it's got a short front taper, maybe about 3 feet, a dry fly line for where they move the mass back so it lands delicately is about 10 feet back. Having the mass forward allows you to turn over that skinny leader, the indicator, the little swivel, the weighted fly. But that's important. If you try using a regular dry line or floating line that's used for dry fly fishing, it's going to struggle casting indicators. You're going to have to put more power behind it, and you apply power incorrectly, all kinds of bad casting things happen. Wind knots, tangled leaders, frustration, increased leader and tippet sails. Oh, there he is. He came back for it. Oh, you're drinking? See, you're breathing. Whoops! I think we proved the blobs are working. So one of the things you want to do in this situation, you got a method, you got fish that want to play. You know, if you've got a technique or a fly style that you've never used much before, this is the time to pull it out and give it a whirl, because you know the fish are in the mood. So it gives you confidence in the method. So the next time you're out, maybe things aren't as good as they are today, you can pull that method out, give it a try, and have some confidence that it works. And that might be the key to unlocking that puzzle for the day. So I think what I'm going to do next, once I get this fish in, and I'm probably going to give it a pump just to see, because as the day wears on, your hatches are going to start, and we may get some chironomid activity. So chironomids don't hatch one day a week. Once that season starts, once that water temperature hits about 50 degrees, they're going to start hatching. So gorgeous little fish. We've definitely proved blobs are working. So I'm going to change up and put a small chironomid pupa on, 14, 16, something like that. See if we can catch fish on that, because if we can't, we know the blob's working, so we'll come back to that. So they'll eat a chironomid. So we changed up from the blob to the chironomid, and within a few seconds of that fly landing, we've got a takedown. Same depth, 12 feet, just off the edge, and ate that little chironomid. This is a clear lake. I find the clear lakes tend to have smaller species of chironomids. That doesn't mean they won't. But because we switched flies, and we haven't throat pumped a fish in a while, I'm going to do another sample just to see if the chironomids are starting to move. You know, I don't throat pump every fish, but we do tend to do it more when chironomids are on there, because there's like 3,500 species in Western North America alone, so that's a lot of chironomids. And they could be eaten size 12 black, an hour and a half later, size 14 olive, hour and a half later, size 16 burgundy, and they're all gassed up and shiny, and so lots of Lots of things to keep you on your toes, and the throat pump allows you to stay in contact with the feeding habits of the fish on any given day. So let's get this out of the way. The fly is out. The fish is definitely full of energy. My hands are wet. I'm keeping the fish in the water. Try and show you what it looks like. It's like he doesn't want me to touch him. He's probably said, "You've touched me enough with that fly." Okay, rest, rest. Oh, he's off and gone. Corbett Lake has been good to us today. We started fishing a blob pattern early in the day and had great success. And in the afternoon, when the hatch began, we used what we'd learned from a throat sample to match the color and size of our fly. Changing our strategy to adapt to changing conditions is going to help us catch more fish in the long run. So pay attention out there and never stop learning.